the foundation of leadership, the character trait every leader should possess, even a team member should possess, is caring. I got to care for my teammates because I don't want to just step on them just because I want what I want. I need to care. Hey, man, you know what? That's a human too. Right. Then I got to care about the product and service that I create that the company sells. I have to care about that it's high quality. You know, when I put that widget together, I can't just throw it together and get it over with. I got to make sure it's together correctly. You volunteered to do.
So in the process, your care. Right now, we want to build a wall with these 10 people in this room that need that niche. Okay, so we got this going. You already done said that from the cornerstone and then plus your care. So we got to build a wall so they become a part of the foundation, right? So now we need to see what else does it take to make these 10 people in that room leaders.
Okay, so we said caring is the foundation. Then we can get back to what caring is made of, right?
Okay.
We get back to that. So caring is that foundation. And now it's the delivery from that leader. How do I deliver how it needs to look? And I got to make sure in that delivery I can communicate with all 10 people the best way they are known to be communicated to. Because everybody has their own language.
Okay.
And I'm not just talking about English and, stuff. I'm talking about the language of understanding, right?
Okay, wait. These 10 people need to have this one lingo. Just one.
They need to get to the point to have one.
That one, so then after that, they can speak different language.
Correct.
Out towards other leadership.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
So my job is that communication delivery or that delivery to them to get them on that one language.
Right.
That no matter what situation in, they understand.
Right.
Like, hey, I can say 2 things and they get the big picture and understand that language. Right.
Okay.
And now people they communicate with, they have their own separate languages because everybody has a different language to communicate.
Right.
So I would say that communication. Now from that communication, now I have to go into the standard. So once I say, hey, I need you to move this can from here. Okay, how does that can need to look when it gets there?
Right.
So the company can package it and sell it and provide it to the customers or clients, right? So now I need to get that standard across the board where everybody understands it because guess what? Your job might be to have one widget for that can. And you have to make that one widget so it can fit with the other widget that the other person has.
Okay.
Because we're building the can, right? We're building this together with our one communication method, and we understand expectations of the quality and standard that it needs to achieve. Now, one thing about that is I have to make sure in achieving that standard that the cross teamwork and the cross communication within the team has caring in it, because that's still the foundation, right? Because, and I say that is we've all ran into situations where one team has difficulty communicating with the other team. Why? Because 9 times out of 10, that leader on that team is that leader on that team. And they say, hey, I'm the leader, this is how I want it. I'm not really concerned how you want to give it to me. But that other person on that other team say, hey, I have to give it to you this way because this is our capability to get there. So take it. I don't care what you do with it. I know I gave it to you, right?
Right.
So that's that cross communication with multifunctional teams that has to be, that's what that leader is building, that one voice. And and that's the standard. So the standard is no matter what it is, listen, this is not personal. We don't have a personal standard in this organization to get this widget to this quality. It's all business. And see, that's that mindset that we have to get folks to understand. When you first come to work and clock in, it's not personal. It's about going in there and what you volunteer to do, you do it at your best, period. Now, guess what? As that leader in your leadership style, you see your people. You know when they're not that 100% that day or they got something on their mind. Mm-hmm. And they should be with that one voice, be able to communicate with you. But everybody is not open for communication. So you have to be able to, see that, and then with that system, pull them over to the side and say, hey, man, or hey, Tammy, what's going on? You're not looking at yourself like you normally do. You need some time off or something? You need something? You need me to take care of something within the company or something? What's going on? And now they should trust your system, your leadership enough to be forward with you. Because part of that caring is making sure, I'll use this word, there's no mess going on.
Okay.
Because the standard said that's not tolerated by anybody.
Right.
So that should build a trusting environment where if Tammy has something going on, she know in confidence she can come talk, say, well, hey, Lee, blah, 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 blah. I might need a couple of days, but I don't want to let the team down. But I'm here because I don't want to let the team down. But I do need that time. And now when that leader uses that leadership style, say, hey, Tammy, take as much time you need. Everybody else automatically knows, pick up the slack.
Okay.
Why? Because we care so much that this could be any one of us at any time.
Right.
And the standard says everybody gets the same treatment. If you got something going on, we're going to recognize that. Now, what is that standard? That product, that cross-communication, multifunctional teams, we make sure we do our best at all times. Now, you know what? A person would tell, people would say this, oh, that's the perfect team. Exactly.
Right.
So that tells me you know what a perfect team look like. Do you put the energy into making that team as perfect as possible, or do you sit back and just let it be what it be because you know what right looks like? And right is caring, communicating, and having that standard, right?
Okay.
So I would say those are the first three. And if I had to say anything from that point, the standard, everybody has a voice in making sure that standard is maintained. Nobody's voice is less than the other, no matter what position they have. And that, what does that do? That for one, it let everybody know that you care about what they have to say. For two, it's communication across the board, kind of like we talked about earlier. Right. Don't talk to one person, talk to everybody about the same standard.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody know all the time what's the deal. No behind the scenes going on. Hey, I know. Hey, we're transparent here. Nobody's being held to a different standard than the other. So I would say, it's important to know that voice, if it's allowed to be expressed, man, you know how important that is to a person to know, no matter what level they are, if they got something to say, is heard. Right. Talk about communication, the standard. See, now if the person delivering it is ignoring all that, then they're not going to be a good part of the team. See, because they're making it about them.
Okay.
That's where that leader uses the leadership style to let them know that's not tolerated here. Or a leader should never allow a negative, what do we call it in the military? We call it either you're an operational enhancer or you're an operational distraction.
Distraction.
We're not going to allow distractions to mature and get grown.
Right.
Because they get a louder voice. They get more influence. Oh, they've been here 10 years doing this. No, we can't do that. As a leader, and you using that leadership style, you have to identify that as early as possible and try to make that decision to bring in new, fresh talent. Now, let me let you know, we say this, but let me let you know what happens a lot. Well, I'm friends with Fred or Tina. Mm-hmm. That's just how they are. And I know they have a family, they have kids, they got responsibilities. Well, understand, leader, it is not your responsibility to take care of their responsibility. It is their responsibility to take care of it. So when they come to work, they're supposed to act right. Mm-hmm. And not use the fact that they have 10 kids or responsibilities or a friendship to allow them to exist in a non-constructive manner in your organization or on your team.
True.
But that leader has to be consistent. Just like beating the drum. Don't change. And then everybody have they know. Say, hey man, when I go over there and work, you've had those bosses before where when you go to that section, you know what it calls for.
Right.
And it don't waver and nobody's exempt, and you know the deal. If you're slacking, you get it. See, that's the leadership that truly cares about that work environment, man. Yeah, so I would say definitely those four things, and and the Wright Improvement Group, we try to keep it as simple as possible. I would say that voice will have a good checks and balances system where everybody's held accountable.
So that's your way of reaching 10 people.
Yeah, everybody's held accountable. Because why? If you hear something, say something. If you see something, say something. Don't allow something to come in and destroy what you're building. Say something. You know what? People say, oh, well, you're not. Yes, you are. Because that's coming into your house, destroying your responsibility, your ability to make sure your responsibilities are taken care of. Making sure when you come to work, you're not worried and thinking about the mess, right? You're like, hey, man, I know if somebody starts a mess in here, we're a co-op. Hey, we're a community up in here. We don't play that. It takes that community. So I would say that last one would be checks and balances, accountability from each individual. So those 5 things would probably be a simple pillar for a good leader to exercise their leadership, taking care of folks, and show them you care.
Okay. Yeah. Should be able to reach those 10.
Yeah.
And even before they have their own voices to someone else, everybody up on that one voice, that one lingo, and before they go illustrate it to other team members or to other companies, you know, they to do that. Because that one voice, that one different sound, it carried a lot of weight.
Correct.
And now you're able to piggyback from that. And then when you do, so if 10 of those was in your leadership class and 10 walked out as leaders, now they know how to orchestrate what they need to have to run this company or to allow this company to run in different areas.
Yeah.
No matter what it takes, but you know how to gel. You know how to make sure that you put down different things in each part of the company. So that way your leadership is still that one voice.
Correct.
Yeah.
And accountability, you know, if you think about it. So let's say, because the Wright Improvement Group, we don't want to put principles on people, 10 principles, but we want to help them create their own principles.
Right.
But we do give basic things that, you know, an organization or leaders or teams should possess. And I think those 5, they're kind of simplistic, right? They're kind of simplistic. I can't have a leader that don't care.
Right.
And I'm not talking no big old 5,000 principles of care. I'm talking about just care. Basic human caring, you know, because that brings trust. Like I care. You know what? Not only do I care about you, I care about the products that you produce. Now understand, that's the business aspect. The human aspect is, my job is to make sure, and my caring is to make sure when you come to work, you ain't got to be thinking about things that are not conducive for you to do your job.
Yes. Yeah.
I do that. And before you get here, behind the scenes, I'm taking care of it. Now, if that's hiring people or getting rid of people, or that's creating new systems that we all create together, like that voice, right? Hey, what's a better way to do this? Let's have some bright idea sessions.
Yeah.
What's a better way to do this? What do you think? Okay, well, that's possible, but think about it, because sometimes when people have bright ideas, they don't think about the long-term effect, right? They just think, hey, we just do this now, yay.
Right now.
Like, but if we do it now, when it gets to this other team, they can't use it. Oh man, I didn't even think of that. Yeah. Oh, okay, I got it. It makes sense. But there you go, man.